I've got a special disease.
Have you?
Yeah.
What kind of disease is that?
Well, the temple commander told me, because I haven't been able to get out of my sleeping bag for the last 2 weeks, for Mangalati, he told me I've got lethargy.
Lethargy?
It's a very special disease.
Is it contagious?
Well, I think it is. If you associate with me, he says, and he says anyone who associates with you will be finished in spiritual life.
Really?
He says you'll get lethargy as well.
Ah.
It's a very interesting disease, Pete, very interesting. You can't get up, all you can do is sleep, you can't work, and all you can eat is Maha Prasadam.
Could you give me that disease then?
Yeah, I don't know, Pete. I've been meaning to tell you, actually. I've been meaning to tell you there's something wrong with you. I mean, I don't mean to get... Used to be a ballet dancer before he did.
What do you think of all this mumbling they're doing back there? I thought they went to be chanting Hare Krishna. Oh, you hear snick, snick, snick.
I can't believe it. You know what?
What?
They had the cheek to tell me that I had to stop chanting Om Namo Shivaya. What a cheek. I mean, I used to chant it all day down in Dagenham at the Ford Works. I got the sack for that, chanting Om Namo Shivaya. Got kicked out.
Better than I used to chant.
What did you used to chant?
Arsenal.
Ah.
I think we should chant that around very seriously.
All right.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You know a thing?
What's that, mate?
I'm not so sure about the food here, you know.
Really?
No.
That was what I was going to tell you, Pete. That's what I was going to tell you. You come out in spots.
Yeah, I looked in the mirror this morning. I put on this padlock. What's it called? Padlock?
Padlock, yeah. I think it's called padlock, yeah.
On the forehead.
It's like, yeah, padlock, yeah.
Keylock.
No, I don't think it's keylock, no. It's,
anyway, this smear, you know. The stuff I used to think was, you know. Anyway. I put it on this morning, now. I thought, look in the mirror. I thought, oh, gracious. Pete. I thought, so, Pete.
Friday I thought.
No, I thought that.
Yeah, I thought that.
I thought, Pete, your face is all spotty.
You know what?
You know what it is?
What is it?
For sugar.
Thought so. I've been having too much sugar as well.
Yeah, right.
I've been getting a little bit passionate, as they say around here.
Oh, dear.
You bet.
You know, what do you think about this segregation that they have here? I don't like it at all.
Not spiritual. I mean, spiritual means we're all one.
Yeah, right.
All one. Everybody's equal.
That's see how they're brainwashing them. I went over to ask a young lady for a dance. A very civilised way. I said, my dear young lady, would you care for a dance? And she screamed and ran up. They all started running away from me.
I think it's because you're spots.
No.
They don't fancy you.
No. These young ladies have got spiritual vision. They see beyond my spots.
Oh, sure.
They see me as pure spirit soul.
Lord, blimey. I never saw you like that before.
We haven't got the vision yet, have you? You haven't been turning your rounds.
Let's go on the road.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
What?
How's your fancy knitting round the back of the temple for a fag?
No, it's against the regulated principles.
I've only been here a week.
I'm not going to succumb to the temptations of Maya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Ram. Oh, I really fancy a Benson Hedges.
Got to begin class now. Joy.
Is there a mat or something? Sound or something? Jayward, Jayward, Jayward. So, what verse are we on today? Does anybody know the verse? Which verse is it? Yeah. 12:7? 8? 10:8? 13:5? Oh, 13:5. Oh. 13:5, you sure? 13:5. 13. That knowledge of the field of activities and of the knower of activities is described by various sages in various Vedic writings, especially in the Vedanta Sutra, and is presented with all reasoning as to cause and effect. So, this word field is very significant in this verse. I'm not sure exactly why. My grandmother lived in a field. There were so many workmen there. So hard were they working. They were working so hard. Practically speaking, just like asses. An ass. All day long he's carrying an enormous load on his back, and when he goes home to enjoy some sex life with his wife ass, what does she do? She kicks him in the face. And what does he say? Oh, oh, oh. Huh? Oh. I mean, this reminds me of a story I heard from one devotee. What's his name? He blew now. He blew before. Anyway, he heard this story from another devotee, and heard the same story on a tape, which belonged to this devotee that just come back after a 5-year stint with the Hari Bol movement. Anyway, the purport was that if you take a fish out of water, you can give him anything. You could give him a cigar, a suitcase full of vodka, a Rolex watch, a circus tent, diamond cufflinks, matching tie pin, a platinum Lotus Elite, a cruise in the Mediterranean, a trip to the moon, 2 weeks in the Bahamas, a guided tour around NASA, the new Action Man parachute kit, an oil rig, a night out with Roger Moore, a Bianca Jagger's phone number. Still, he wouldn't be satisfied. Talking of Bianca Jagger, we all know the song by Mick Jagger, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Well, it's a fact. Oh, what album was that on? That was at the third or the fourth. The fourth album, I'm the King Bee on side 1 and Mother's Little Helper on side 2. That one about Valium. I can't remember exactly. Anyway, getting back to the point, not only are they just like fish, but they're also just like the hogs, dogs, camels, and asses, and giraffes, kangaroos, polar bears, crocodiles, parrots, basking sharks, centipedes, millipedes, spiders, scorpions, orangutans, dodos, anchovies, and aardvarks. I mean, there are so many species of life, aren't there? 33 million to be precise. No, 108. Anyway, there are so many species of life, and this is all a result of the interaction of the 4 modes of material nature, which combine combined together just as there are 7 basic colours. Brown, purple, greeny, blue type of thing, that pinky orange one. Anyway, they all merge together to form the totality of the spectrum. And all this under the supervision of Lord Shiva, the god in charge of creation. And the scientists say this all happened by chance. Pah, scientists. What do they know about it? They're just a bunch of speculators. Not only that, but they're demons too. They don't know that at the time of death, the Yamadutas are going to rip them from their bodies. They'll be forced to swim through endless oceans of semen and mucus. Fierce great eagles with talons like razors are going to rip their intestines out. What do they know about humility, or peacefulness, or tolerance? Anyway, as it's stated somewhere, look, I'm trying to give class. I'm trying to make a point. I'm talking about tolerance. Just a few more minutes. That's all I want. Thank you. Peacefulness, tolerance. And this is backed up in the scriptures, that verse, parum tum parum. Tum tum parum parum pum. Parum tum. Anyway, a lot of devotees place a lot of importance on learning slokas well, you know. The important thing is to learn the English, of course. If we don't know the English, the English is whatever. According to the anyway, I've temporarily forgotten English, but the Spanish is nunca hay nacimiento ni muerte para el alma. Habiendo de existir there jamás de existir. Or religion without fanaticism is simply speculation. Anyway, eventually, you have to stand up, Prabhu. I mean, you know, it's not very encouraging for me, you know. Anyway, eventually my grandmother sold the field and they built a hospital there. There's another hospital, like so many they're building up and down the material world, and they think this is service to humanity. I mean, they really do. I mean, what is the material body anyway? It's just a lump of stool. That's all it is, stool. I mean, have you ever sat down, right? Have you ever sat down and looked at a piece of stool? I mean, I know I have. Anyway, there are a few minutes before class, if anybody's got any questions.
I'd like to ask you...
Yes. Just a minute.
I'll ask her a question.
All right, yes.
Just a question.
Yes, go ahead, yes.
I'll prepare some effort.
Yeah, all right. Make your point.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm nice and easy. I like it very much.
Yeah.
Been here for 2 days, and I was wondering, so, why is it that she's got made everything, and
What?
everything's
Just a minute. What are you trying to say?
Well, I got a question.
Look, you're asking. You've got to let me answer. I mean, you can't just keep going on. I mean,
See,
well, you know.
See, if everything's equal in the eyes of God, and he sees everything equally, and he sees men and women equally as well, these young ladies.
Listen, this guy's talking about sex. I mean, the guy's obviously... Who let him in here? Did you let him in here, Brooke? The guy's obviously envious. He shouldn't be allowed to stay here. No, I don't want to hear it. It's just contaminating, Prabhu. I mean, you know, if we're going to let people like this stay in the town, well, you know... Are there any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Are there any other questions?
Excuse me?
Yes.
I would like to ask you, where do you get your money from?
It's a very good question. Are you a guest? Is your first time here? Very, very nice. Well, you should understand that as far as collecting money is concerned, well, this universe is not the only universe. I mean, there are millions of universes, just like grains of sand in a cup or mustard seeds in a barrel. Oh, not so much a barrel, more of a sack. They didn't really have barrels in Vedic times. They're very, very mode of goodness time. Lots of handicrafts, you know, sewing, weaving, sack making, that sort of thing. Not like Kali Yuga. Does that answer your question? Thank you very much.
Hi, brethren. On this, the second Sunday after diversity, there are the following parish announcements. We are glad to have news of our little Priscilla Bateman, the daughter of our chief verger. She sends us a postcard to say she recently became a lay preacher at the British Circle of Necromancy. We wish her all the best in her career. Keep your eyes on the goal, Priscilla, dead ahead. Would all our local friends who've been practicing necrophilia in the cemetery mind moving their rituals to the car park next week? The contractors will be bulldozing the cemetery on Tuesday to clear space for the rector's private psilocybin mushroom farm. Are you leaving? Did I say something offensive? Yes, perhaps we could ask the contractors to delay for a week or two? What? Oh, yes. Why didn't I think of that? Yes, till after the full moon, of course. The bishop has asked me to remind you that there is still time to donate to his scheme for converting the vestry into a sex aid shop. And finally, I should announce that we are thinking to change the form of this service and to base our new covenant on... oh, yes, and I've already had some suggestions for this from various parishioners. The Tibetan Book of the Dead. Mrs. Higgins, that was yours, wasn't it? The Life and Teachings of Arthur Scargill. The Observer's Book of Antique Furniture. Huh? Well, how about the W.H. Smith's Illustrated Desk Diary? No? Oh. Well, I know. How about the Rupert Annual? Yes, well, that's all the announcements for today, parishioners. And after the final hymn, if you would leave past, as you are leaving, perhaps you would leave a donation at the totem pole.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Ray Coburn Show again, and on this evening's program we have a very special guest. Someone whom many of you will know, not so much by his own achievements, but rather that he is an achievement himself. He is a veritable monument to the integrity, determination, enthusiasm, and research of our scientific community. He's the product of over a half-century of genetic research, and quite possibly the most expensive human being in existence. I refer, of course, to PLX 0772 8624003127, known to his friends as PLX 0772, or quite simply as Muff. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big hand, please, for PLX 0772.
A big hand, please, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to have you on the show, PLX 0772 8628 00347129. Let's dispense with formalities. Perhaps I can call you Muff. Tell me, Muff, what does it feel like to be the first $1 billion man?
Good.
Great. Yes, it must be really great. When you consider that every one of your chromosomes is hand-designed by the most advanced, the cream of the world's geneticists, it must give you a very special feeling.
Wonderful.
Yes, it must be very wonderful. I mean, if we consider for a moment that every one of your DNA molecules has been designed by computer, hand-built with the most highly developed biosynthetic equipment available to man, the mind boggles when we consider what vast advancement man has made since the invention of the first steam engine. A sobering thought. Tell me, Muff, how do you see yourself, the future developments of biogenetic engineering?
Yes.
Tell me a rather personal question now. Do you find it difficult to relate to the world, considering that you don't have a mother or father in the true sense of the word? What's this? A photograph of a test tube.
Mummy.
Your mother? Oh, of course. And another one here. Very nice color photograph of the deep freeze sperm bank at the International Institute of Genetic Research in California.
Daddy.
Yes, they look a very charming couple. I believe you had a little something up your sleeve.
No. Music.
Music. Yes, you were going to play some music, weren't you? So while the assistants are bringing in the musical instruments, perhaps you could tell us a little of what you're going to play.
Bottle.
You're going to play us some bottles. It's all yours, love.
This Saturday, the 12th of May, 2008. Today we have live coverage for you of all the latest sports events. First, we'll be taking you to the Royal Albert Complex for all the latest in the British Amateur Psychic Wrestling Championships. Then, violence permitting, we'll be taking a quick trip to Villa Park, where we hope the referee commentators are alive and well and able to bring us news of the big match. And finally, back here to Television Centre, where we'll have a chance to see a demonstration from the BBC Professional Sportsman of the Year, the welterweight falling over champion of the world, Brian Avalanche. Over then to Max Maxwell of the Albert Complex.
Thank you, Ricky. As you can see, you've joined us at a very tense moment in the game. Lillian seems to be going through a bit of trouble at the moment. Oh, that was a nasty one. I doubted the referee will let that pass. Oh, he has. But he's certainly in a better position to judge than us. And as this round comes to a close, Pamela seems to be winning on points. And there goes the bell. Now then, Lillian seems to have taken quite a bit of stick in that round, but her trainer's given her a good sponging down. Well, viewers, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for this week. Next week, I'll be presenting one of my favourite sports, psychic ski jumping. Thank you. Now over to Villa Park for a report on the big match. Are you there, Trevor?
Yes, I am indeed, Max, and it's a quiet game here so far. We're 5 minutes now into the second half, and so far we've had only a few fatalities on either side. The United supporters, although this is their first away game of the season, are in fine spirits. The main attacking move of the first half came when the United supporters surged down the left-hand terrace, only to be repelled by Villa's crack defensive squad of boot boys and bottle merchants. The attack soon petered out, and then it was up to the St. John's ambulance boys to move in, tot up the scores and mop up the mess. The counter-attack was quick in coming, with a burst of automatic gunfire coming from a concealed position somewhere underneath the director's box. And even as I speak, yes, United are making a substitution, Max. They're calling off the water cannon. I can't quite... Yes, they're bringing on the flamethrower. Now, things are really going to be warming up a little bit here. My God, that was either a petrol bomb or a mortar, Max. That was definitely a mortar. Back to the studio. Thank you, Max.
Well, now it's time for our big feature of the afternoon. A chance to speak to welterweight falling over champion of the world, Brian Avalanche, as he attempts to break his own record. But first, let's have a talk to him, and before we see him in action. Welcome, Brian, to the show. It's a great privilege to have you with us. Now, what sort of particular technique are you going to be showing us this afternoon?
On your march, get set, go!
And he's off to a good start. His neck's bending slightly. Just look at the concentration on this man's face. He's beginning to look a little unsteady on his feet. Yes, beads of sweat are beginning to appear. His knees are definitely bending now. And the vital question being asked here is, which way is he going to fall? I notice he's not wearing any elbow pads. That would seem he was going for the forward crumple. Ah! Oh, no, what a surprise. He went for the diagonal sprawl. Yes, now the seconds are looking at their watches. This seems to be a record time, but something's wrong. Yes, he's injured. Well, this will certainly disqualify him. Yes, I thought something was wrong. That time was much too fast. And as Brian Avalanche's seconds try to revive him, we say goodbye to you from the world of sport. Next week, as already mentioned, we'll be bringing you psychic ski jumping, plus our special feature, the European Standing Up Prize.
In the last 2 years, Krishna consciousness has expanded beyond the realms of the temple to the person at home. And thus we have a very wonderful new program called Folk. Let's have a big hand for Folk. We're going to take you now to the home of Mr. Michel Frog. Mr. Michel Frog, who has just joined our folk program, and we will see in this particular instance how some of our new members experience a little difficulty.
What's that noise, Mummy G?
Oh, it's Daddy G taking his cold shower. Darling Prabhu! Darling Prabhu, it's the neighbours again. Can you remember it's only 4 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, good morning, darling Prabhu.
Jai, dear.
Hi,
Get some-
Daddy G.
Good morning. Do you have some breakfast?
Yes, it's your favourite
What is it?
precedent today. It's baked beans on poppadoms and soya sausage pakoras.
You know, I got my parcel from Chickenia College.
Oh,
From the
lovely.
mail order department.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm going to open it now. I've ordered everything on their mailing list, you know? Everything.
the Lord make us truly thankful. You must be joking. Why can't we ever eat anything normal like we used to? I'm having a packet of toast.
Wait a minute. Are you going to offer them?
Who to?
Well, to the picture.
Oh, I suppose he would like to pot the bag as well. Zoe. Mom? Yes, dear? Where's the toilet paper? Oh. Daddy says to use the bottle. There's a bottle behind the door. Now look, love, I know what you're thinking about Zoe. You think you're very upset because she's just come back from the discotheque, isn't it? Well, you've got to remember that she's just a young girl with feelings like anyone else. I mean, how do you think she felt when you got arrested by the police for selling records in front of the discotheque? In front of all her friends. And they were her records, too. I mean, you know, Prabhu, darling, when you were that age, you weren't exactly an angel. I remember I used to have to practically drag you home every Friday night. You were so paralytic. It's true, you know. And it's only about 3 or 4 weeks ago since you stopped smoking 60 cigarettes a day. What to speak of going out on the town with your friends? I mean, God knows what you used to get up to, the state you got home in. I'm sorry, darling Prabhu. I didn't mean to upset you, you know. I mean, you really have given up so much. Cigarettes, alcohol, me. It must be hard, though. In your sleeping bag on the concrete in the garage. But don't be too hard on Zoe, Prabhu, love. I mean, you know, when we were that age, we used to get up to all kinds of things. Do you remember? Do you remember that time we went to that fancy dress party, a John and Yoko with a sleeping bag? I'm sorry. Oh, Prabhu, darling. I'm really sorry. I mean, I really am sorry. Is this what you were trying to explain to me? Like, what's it called? Prajalpa? I'm sorry. I am trying, you know, but I do want to go back home to Garnet. I do, but I get frightened that if I go there, I'll be lonely, you know. None of my friends want to go. And my mother refuses to go ever since you gave that speech at my sister's wedding about renunciation. And then you told all the guests that if they ate the meal prepared by my father, that she paid hundreds of pounds for, they'd go to the hellish planets. I mean, it gets a bit much sometimes. I can't help getting emotional, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, darling. I know I'm having a lot of doubts, but you see, actually, I think it's because I have started chanting today's round. Hare Krishna.
Las Vegas, we have the great pleasure of bringing to you this evening the immortal, the wonderful Satchmo. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big hand, please, for Louis Armstrong.
Hi there, everybody. It's real nice to be here. Take it away, Sam. Hello, Dolly. Hello, Dolly. You got the wrong number. Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, devotees. Are you great devotees? It's so nice to have you back where you belong. You're looking swell, devotees. I can had a great time on the marathon. Yeah. Louis loves you all. Now I'm gonna do for you my favorite song. It's called What a Wonderful World. Take it away, Sam. Take it away. I see clouds of white, blue skies and green trees. I also see birth, death, old age, and disease. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The cows and lambs, so happy and free. I smell the slaughterhouse wafting in the breeze. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The color of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. Abortions and murders, rape and suicide. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The butterflies in spring, the gentle countryside, nuclear fallout as it drips into my eye. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Take it away, Sam. Take it away. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see babies being born, I watch them grow. They'll all go into demons, don't you know? I see politicians lying, Carl Sagan speculating. I can see the Amadudas ready and waiting. Vietnam, World War III, Ayatollah Gaddafi, Idi Amin. I see the plague, famine, earthquakes and floods. I see plague and famine, earthquake and flood, dead bodies in the street, all spattered in blood. I see terminal cancer, VD and rabies, thalidomide and spastics. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see feces and urine, vomit and pus. A little old lady run over by a bus. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a horrible mess. Doobie 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 doo, doobie doobie doobie, yeah.
tell me. I've seen members of your group dancing along Oxford Street. What do you actually believe in?
Well, in reality, we learn from the Vedic literature that the nature of the soul is Satchidananda. That means full of eternity, knowledge and bliss, you see. So the soul never actually experiences pain. It's, you see, actually the body is just dead chemicals, you see. Without the presence of the soul in the body is just a lump of matter, you see. And the soul is full of bliss and anand, you see. So pain is just misidentification of the self with the body.
So it's something like yoga?
That type of philosophy, that sort of thing.
I see. Then you don't need any nurse drill.
What?
Say ah, please.
Krishna!
Good evening. We have with us in the studio tonight a Mr. Edward Miller. He's going to be telling us about the awful attacks by ghosts, demons and evil spirits that have been made upon him whilst he's working in his lollipop factory. And Mr. Miller, what form do these apparitions actually take?
Well, I'm glad you've asked me this, sir. You see, I came here this afternoon full of comprehension of the most fantastic apparitions which have appeared to me in this lollipop factory which I've owned for the last...
Maya! This is all Maya! Stop it at once! Stop this! I insist you stop this at once!
Sit down!
Sit down? What do you mean sit down? I've already been sitting here for the last 17 hours and in this squirming us a protoplasm we call ourselves? No, I will not sit down. Most definitely not. I mean, this really is the most unintelligent, pseudo-intellectual, phantasmagorical, and sophisticated, arty-farty, airy-fairy family cliche and mind-rotting, end-term, bombastic, rather small bills. Par excellence. I mean, this really is the epitome of cliche after cliche after harrowing cliche. Slightly compressed and churned out for the dubious delight of the good-think and gullible masses, us. But I've had enough of this. I mean, just look at these people. Excuse me, just look at these people. I mean, just look at their hair, for one thing. I mean, for Christ's sake, these people are senior devotees. I mean, they really think they've got their finger on the pulse of the movement. What do you think he was doing during the Christmas marathon? Eh? And him? What do you think they were doing on the Christmas? Were they out on the streets collecting Lakshmi? Oh, not on your life. They were lording it up in some air-conditioned, centrally heated, furnished office, writing all this bills. I mean, this is the worst load of Prajalpa I've ever heard in my entire sojourn in this cosmic, cursed manifestation. I mean, do you really think that fatuous piffle like this actually bears any relevance or significance to anybody or anything? Of course it doesn't. And you think we want to hear it? Of course we don't. We want something good. We want something good. And I noticed you never asked me to do anything this year. I would have done something good. Something about Krishna, that's what I would have done. Take the songs. I mean, take the songs. Blood, blood, glorious, doxy, toxy, poly, poxy. Then he preached to me, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, what a load of bills that is. I would have done something good. Something like... There'll be bluebirds under the white cliffs of Humber, reminding me of Krishna and Balaramba. There'll be bluebirds. Oh, I've been repressed. Get out!
Denny. At this time of night? My God! It's 2:30 in the morning! Who can it be? Oh, God. Oh, oh. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Oh. How much is it?
Oh, I don't know. I can't see in the dark. If I put the light on, my sleeping tablets might wear off.
All right, hold on.
What is going on down there now? Dennis?
He says, would you like to put our donation towards a Christmas candle?
Christmas candle?
He says they're God sent. He says that he let us have it for £3 and that they cost £105.99 in the shop.
Oh, that's cheap. Oh, that would have never it's a bargain, isn't it?
Where's my money, Marge?
Oh, it's in your trouser pockets over the bed here.
Oh, no. All right, I'm coming up again. Hold on. Now, where's the cat? Where's my trousers? God, I tell you what, I just spent Boxing Day night.
Hurry up. I'm really tired.
So am I, look, so am I. Won't be long now. sit down then. Who gave the £10?
It's the public convenience, Dennis. Always do hurry up. What the heck is going on down here? What's happening now?
Oh, it's cold down here, love. But he says he's just gone to the car to get some more things. He says he's got these books on ancient something or other. And they're free if we can give a small donation. So here it is now. You sure? Here, love. He's got some good records down here for sale. The chicks too.
But we haven't got a record player.
It's all right. He says they're self-playing. He says, do we know Stevie Wonder and the Police?
Oh, you can tell him. I shouldn't wonder if I should call the blinking police. At this rate, tell him to push off while you shut the blinking door. I've already spent all the rent money and my bingo money.
All right, love.
I'm tired. Have you shut that door, Dennis?
Marge, that was a traumatic experience. A really traumatic experience. Oh, God. Oh.
Never mind now. Just relax and remember that lovely holiday we had on the Côte d'Azur, basking in the sunshine, looking at the scenery.
Oh, not that one, love. That's the one with all the young ladies topless. I'll never get to sleep. I think of that one.
Dennis, you are at one.
Sorry, you love. Sorry, you. Just move the phone.
Dennis? Dennis?
What is it, love? What?
It's the phone. The phone. Go on to the phone.
For crying out loud. Hello! Hello! 86284431. Oh, God. Hello? Operator?
Hello?
Yeah? It's someone. Long distance.
What's this?
They want to reverse the charges.
That's the charges.
Yeah.
Who is it?
I don't know. Who is it? Yeah? Really? It's some artist in Hong Kong. What's that? Want to buy the original oil paintings?
Now, many of you may have many questions, and to answer some of these questions, we have invited to the studio tonight the Minister for Defensive Affairs, Sir Reginald Gut Grumbling. Sir Reginald, there have been widespread allegations of corruption against the government.
Scandals.
And particularly, we have read that your own department have placed an order for no less than £375 million worth of arms from Death Incorporated. Would you like to comment on allegations that you are a director of Death Incorporated, Minister?
Well, as I'm sure you're aware, ministers in Her Majesty's government are bound by the strictest codes of ethics and protocol. That would make it virtually impossible for us to fully comprehend the extent of the various responsibilities that are thrust upon them in the line of duty. As the immortal Bard said, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them.
Yes, that's all very well, Minister, but will you answer the question? Are you a director of Death Incorporated or not?
Well, I dislike questions that beg a direct answer. I think it's a very low form of journalism indeed. As I'm sure you're aware, there is a vast panoply of cause and effect behind every action. There is no easy solution. There are no U-turns. But every cloud has a silver lining.
Minister, I must insist. Have you ever been given a salary by Death Incorporated?
A salary? Absolutely never. Wages, yes. But that's another thing. And if you're for the moment suggesting anything improper, then I will remind you, young man, the instructions have been issued with my solicitors, Messrs. Sword and Scram, to deal very severely with any scandalous allegations.
Yes, well, thank you very much, Minister. Now, Sir Reginald, many people say that the government has no clear policy on foreign affairs or on unemployment.
Well, it's difficult for me to comment without preparation on the many affairs I've had, foreign or otherwise. But on unemployment, I will say this, as I've said before, and as I'll say again, that what was said by me before was said knowing that what I was saying was said in complete integrity. Now, if I had not said it, or indeed, if someone else had said it, then I do not think that I could say that what was said by those who were saying it was said in the same way. Now, having said that, I think I can say that I've said enough. However, I will add, we are today going through the most serious economic crises since yesterday. But I think that I can guarantee, tentatively, that I can promise that Her Majesty's government will do everything in its power to ensure that everything in its power is done to help, as it was done before. As indeed I did it myself when it was done. As indeed the Prime Minister was doing it.
Yes, thank you very much, Reginald. I'm sure everybody's finding this very interesting, but I think we have now a question from the audience.
Yeah, I've got a question for the Minister. I've got a question over here. Could you tell me, Sir Grumbling Grumble, what will the government do with common people in the event of a nuclear holocaust?
Now, as I'm sure you'll appreciate, it will be a very difficult time, and services will have to be pared to the bone at that time, of course. Now, you could say it will be a kind of skeleton service. But rest assured that everything in its power will be done by the government to assist you at that time.
Can I ask another question, Minister?
Yes.
I've been reading in the Daily Crap that you've got for yourselves, i.e. the government, you've built yourselves underground bunkers. Now, is it possible for a working man like myself to join you in the bunkers?
Well, of course it's possible, theoretically. but I think I should remind you that you will, in fact, have to bring a platoon of the Queen's Guards to the same way of thinking as yourself before you're actually able to gain entrance.
Well, thank you very much, Sir Reginald. Good night.